everyone, it's Hannah here, and today I'm going to be doing some brainstorming for the Inktober Prompt Fairy to come up with some ideas of what you can draw. If you don't know what Inktober is, then have a look in the description below. I chose a really pretty font for fairy, like one that's a bit more curvy and fancy. So you could draw like a well-known fairy, such as Tinkerbell from Peter Pan. What other fairies are famous? Like other fairies from books or movies. You could do an evil fairy. You could do a group of fairies. Maybe they're all laughing together or picking flowers, or maybe they're fighting. They're like boxing or something, like doing sport or something else. And that's cool because they can fly, the sport they're playing may be a bit different. Like maybe they've got different rules. So you could think of some sports that would work if you're flying as well, or just do a normal sport. Yeah, if they're all evil fairies, then maybe you could do them like scheming and plotting. Maybe they're thieves and they because people think they're all cool and pretty and awesome, they will get on with the fairy well, and then the fairy will come and steal their stuff. So especially to children who might want to get to know fairies well. Yeah, when I was a kid, there were those Rainbow Magic books. Those are some other fairies I can think of. I wonder if those are still going or if they've moved on. You could do a fairy on someone's shoulder, maybe whispering something into someone's ear, or a fairy like riding another animal, like to show their scales. So maybe you've got a dog and then you've got a little fairy on its head or something. And yeah, you could do other fairy tales. So maybe it doesn't actually have a fairy in there, but it's based on it. So, but it's still like a fairy tale, so part of the fantasy world. And you can think about what color you want to make the fairy. If you want them to be, you can think about if you want it to be a girl fairy or a boy fairy or something else. Yeah, but maybe you want the fairy to be wearing pink clothes or like rainbow clothes or something else. Maybe you want the fairy to be in black and white. And you can think about like fairy dust or sparkles or like little stars that surround the fairy. So you could draw the fairy and then draw lots of little diamonds like that. And yeah, maybe you can make it into like an outfit design. So you can draw a cool outfit and you have little holes for the wings at the back. Like maybe you want it to be like a typical pretty fairy, but maybe you want to have a pretty typical fairy and then also have like an emo fairy next to it or something. Oh yeah, and then you can also do like a magic wand or a tiara if they're or a crown if they're a royal fairy. Oh, and also fairy bread. So in Australia, also New Zealand, I think, we have fairy bread. So it's like you get a piece of white bread and you put like butter on it, and then you get hundreds and thousands, the sprinkles, and sprinkle it all over. And then you cut it into quarters and you can serve that at like kids' birthdays and stuff. Or you could just have it as a snack. And it actually tastes really good. You've got white bread, you've got a bit of butter, and then hundreds and thousands. Well, usually some of the sprinkles fall off, but for the most part, it sticks onto the butter and it tastes really good. You should definitely try it if you haven't already. Oh, you could also do like a fairy godmother. But yeah, what else could a fairy godmother be doing? Maybe it's helping like an everyday person. Maybe you're drawing yourself, right? And then you've got a little fairy next to it and she's actually your fairy godmother. And like she's helping you with something. And maybe you imply what that thing is in your artwork, or maybe you keep it a mystery. Or maybe you want to draw Cinderella like before and after she gets like fancy clothing on. And yeah, you could also draw like a kid who's like dressed up as a fairy for a birthday or Halloween or something. There are so many ideas for this one. I had a lot of fun. If you want me to see your art, then use the hashtag #ShareWithShadows on Instagram. That'll be in the description below. Or you can DM me on Instagram at shadows.exhibit. And if you use the hashtag, then tag me as well, because that way I'm more likely to see it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.